In our time. Grammar. Active versus passive. 1. Look at the picture. When do you think it was taken? What do you think life was like for these people compared to the way young people live now? Maybe the picture is in the 1960s. They probably had more fun than young people now. 2. A. Read the paragraph and choose the best title. 1. The best time to live. 2. How the young found their voice. 3. New generations, new names. After World War II, a generation was born that has come to be known as baby boomers. They are thought to be healthier, wealthier, and more optimistic than any previous generation. They were followed by Generation X, a name that was invented by photographer Robert Capa. Generation X includes people born between the mid-60s and the early 80s. This generation is sometimes called the MTV generation, as it supposedly grew up watching music videos. Generation X is known for entrepreneurship and open-mindedness in regard to race, gender, class, and religion. Following Generation X is Generation Y, or Millennials, who were born between the early 1980s and 2000. They are known for being confident, informal, and desperate to share their lives with others via social networking. They arrived at a time of great technological change and are perhaps the first generation that is being educated for jobs that may not exist at the moment. The best title. 3. New generations, new names. B. Read the extracts from the text and do questions 1 to 3. 1. Underline the verbs in each sentence. A. They are thought to be healthier than any previous generation. B. This generation grew up watching music videos. C. This generation has come to be known as baby boomers. D. They arrived at a time of great technological change. E. The first generation that is being educated. 2. 3 of the sentences don't say who did the action. A, C, E. 3. Active versus passive verbs. Active, B, D. Passive, A, C, E. C. Look at the sentences again. Complete the rule. Rules. We form the passive with subject plus the verb to be in the present, past, or other tense plus past participle. D. Find other examples of the passive in the text. After World War II, a generation was born that has come to be known as baby boomers. They are thought to be healthier, wealthier, and more optimistic than any previous generation. They were followed by Generation X, a name that was invented by photographer Robert Capa. Generation X includes people born between the mid-60s and the early 80s. This generation is sometimes called the MTV generation, as it supposedly grew up watching music videos. Generation X is known for entrepreneurship and open-mindedness in regard to race, gender, class, and religion. Following Generation X is Generation Y, or Millennials, who were born between the early 1980s and 2000. They are known for being confident, informal, and desperate to share their lives with others via social networking. They arrived at a time of great technological change and are perhaps the first generation that is being educated for jobs that may not exist at the moment. 9.2. Active versus passive. The passive. Oh no, my wallet has been stolen. Were those documents sent by email or by post? Not many houses are being built at the moment. That piano hasn't been played for years. Cars that are parked illegally will be removed. Are those toys made by hand? We weren't employed by the government until 1998. We can't use the photocopier because it's being repaired right now. Five, the buildings have been cleaned and the walls have been painted. 6, I've been given a new office, but I haven't moved my things in there yet. 7, today this dish isn't being cooked in the oven. Instead, we're using the grill. 8, English won't be spoken everywhere in future. Lots of people won't speak it. Final answers. 5, have been cleaned, have been painted. 6, have been given, haven't moved. 7, isn't being cooked, are using. 8, won't be spoken, won't speak. Five, in the future, people will know today's babies as Generation Z. In the future, today's babies will be known as Generation Z. 6, William Strauss and Neil Howe wrote a book about millennials, Millennials Rising, the next great generation. A book about millennials, Millennials Rising, the next great generation, was written by William Strauss and Neil Howe. 7, sometimes people call the generation born between 1910 and 1920 the greatest generation. The generation born between 1910 and 1920 is sometimes called the greatest generation. 8, older people have always criticized younger people for their bad behavior. Younger people have always been criticized by older people for their bad behavior. B 9.3. Weak forms. Are, has been, was, and were. Listen and check your answers.
Unit 9. Recording 3. 1.
The name Generation X was made famous by Coupland's novel.
2.
Sometimes different names are invented by the media.
3.
The term Generation 9/11 was used by Newsweek magazine in 2001.
4.
People growing up after the war were given the name baby boomers.
5.
In the future, today's babies will be known as Generation Z.
6.
A book about millennials was written by William Strauss and Neil Howe.
7.
The generation born from 1910 to 1920 is sometimes called the greatest generation.
8.
Younger people have always been criticized by older people for their bad behavior.
C. Listen again and notice the pronunciation of are, has been, was, and were. Then listen and repeat. The verb forms are, has been, was, and were are pronounced as weak forms with the schwa,
Unit 9. Recording 4. 1.
Yeah, I grew up in the 90s. For me, film and music are two important aspects of my life, and it was a fantastic decade for both of those. In terms of films, there were some excellent ones that came out. My favourites being Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction and The Shawshank Redemption. In terms of the music, probably the most famous bands of the time was Oasis and Blur. One of the most memorable moments for me of the 90s was Euro 96, obviously the football tournament. I was lucky enough to go to the opening ceremony myself. Obviously, as we was entering the end of the millennium, the celebrations towards the end of the 90s were huge, as were the actual celebrations on the night. Tony Blair was elected, so it's the first sort of Labour government for a long time. And also Mother Teresa died. Mother Teresa was the famous charitable missionary.
2.
The 70s. Well, they were wonderful, I think. If I'm asked, was it a good decade or a bad decade? Personally, I have to think it was a good decade to grow up in. I think it's very lucky. I think of it as a very lucky experience when generally the world that I lived in, which was London and England, which was the post-war period and therefore an era of a certain amount of restriction, was all ending and things were freeing up. And that happened just at the time that I was leaving home and finding my own independence. It all seemed as though it happened at the same time. Technology was changing and improving. Everything seemed to be developing and getting better in many ways. The fashion was getting rid of short hair and regimented kind of looks. Individuality was very much the order of the day. Great people were emerging in the arts. John Lennon, for example, was an icon for me, I think, as a creative artist with a message as well in his work. Great artists in film, Scorsese, Taxi Driver, Spielberg, Duel. These were emerging artists of tremendous skill and artistry, but they were just starting out then when I was.
3.
I was a teenager in the 80s and I remember thinking that I didn't like a lot of the fashion and the music from back then, but now it's obvious in retrospect that I did quite like it. I love looking back on like a nostalgia trip at the way we used to dress and how much hair gel I used and how much hairspray the girls used. And now in the 2000s there's like a sort of a trip back into that time. Girls are wearing big earrings again and geometric patterns on their clothes. The music in the 80s became quite computerised sounding, quite electronic, and disco faded away. Although we did still have soul, there were people like Luther Vandross and Billy Ocean making soul music. New Romantic was another style that came out in the early 80s where the men started wearing lots of makeup and had big shoulders and small waists. And there was Madonna, was a big trendsetter for girls. And at one point she cut her hair really short in the mid-80s and almost like a boy's. And then all the girls started cutting their hair short too. I wasn't very fashionable myself. I used to spend most of my money on records, not clothes. There were some good films around in the 80s too, things like Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox, Desperately Seeking Susan with Madonna, E.T., Police Academy. I'm going to be 40 this year, and I reckon my birthday party is probably going to be a big nostalgia trip back to the 80s.
Speakout tip. Before listening, read the task. Which are the most important words? Listen for those words and for their synonyms, or words with a similar meaning. For example, North Americans equals people from the United States. Films equals movies. Environmental problems equals pollution and the hole in the ozone layer. Fashion clothes, hairstyles. read the task in exercise 4B and listen for the key words and synonyms. B. Listen again and answer the questions. What two important aspects of his life does Speaker 1 mention? Film and music. What celebrations do you think Speaker 1 is talking about? Fireworks, parties. Where is Speaker 2 from? London, England. Which musician was an icon for Speaker 2? John Lennon. What two things did Speaker 3 think he didn't like during the 80s? He later changed his mind. Fashion and music. What trend did Madonna start in the mid-80s? Girls cutting their hair short. 5A. Read the underlined sentences in audio script 9.4 on pages 173 and answer the questions. Which decade do you think was good for film and music? What was one of the most memorable moments of the decade in which you grew up? Were things developing and getting better for your generation? What part of your past do you like in retrospect? B. Discuss your answers with other students. Vocabulary. Periods of time. 6A. Put the words and phrases in order from the shortest to the longest periods of time. Use a dictionary to help you. A decade, a millennium, an era, a century, a quarter century, a fortnight, an age, the 1970s, 1980s, the 70s, 80s, a generation, a fortnight, a decade, the 1970s, 1980s, the 70s, 80s, a generation, a quarter century, an era, an age, a century, a millennium. B. Complete sentences 1 through 8 with your own words. 1. The best thing about this decade so far has been. 2. The worst thing about this decade so far has been. 3. One thing I know/remember about the 1990s is. 4. My generation is sometimes criticized for our. 5. One thing that represents my parents' era is. 6. This era is represented by. 7. This is the first century in which. 8. One big change in the next quarter century might be. C. Compare your sentences with other students. Are there any that you agree on? Speaking. A. Choose a period when you were a child, a teenager, or in your 20s. What did people listen to, do, watch, where? How did it change as you got older? Make some notes about the following: fashion, technology, music, sport, TV and/or films, issues in the news. B. Work with other students and talk about your chosen period of time. When I was young, only a few programs were shown on TV. Now there are hundreds. Vocabulary Plus. Collocations. 8. A. Read the text and answer the questions. 1. According to the writer, what do normal people think of time travel? We have trouble believing that time travel is possible. 2. Why is time travel probably boring? Because humanity makes progress slowly and Stone Age man didn't own TVs for entertainment. 3. Why is it probably not the solution to man's problems? The people of the future might not know the answers to our problems. B. Read the text again. Find and underline 8 phrases with come, give, have, and make. The first 2 have been done for you. Time travel. All theoretical physicists have the same dream. They want to travel in time. Normal people like you and me have trouble believing that time travel is possible. The idea is outside our imagination, and such thoughts just don't come naturally to us. We can't imagine seeing our parents as little children taking their first steps, or our grandparents' youthful faces as smooth and unlined as glass. We can't imagine watching Stone Age men dragging dead animals to their caves, or watching Alexander the Great conquering half the world, or seeing Mozart at his piano. And the truth is, Even if we could travel in time, unless we could also choose an exact moment in an exact place, it would probably be very boring. When we read history books, the past always sounds exciting, but humanity makes progress slowly, and Stone Age man didn't own TVs for entertainment. If time travel is ever possible in the future, time travelers are probably with us now, today. And if they exist, they have come back from a time in the future and are watching while we make a mess of the world. Why don't they give us directions on how to save the planet? Why don't they give instructions about the environment or how to stop war? Here's a sad thought. Maybe they don't know the answers either.
1. Come. Naturally, easily. Back, return. By car, ways to travel. First, when. 2. Give. Instructions, say what to do. A speech, make a speech. Me a call, phone me. Directions, say where to go. 3. Have. Fun, enjoy yourself. The same dream, future ambition. Trouble, have problems. A break, relax for a short time. 4. Make. A choice, choose. A mess, make untidy, dirty. Progress, improve. A profit, get more money than you invested. D. Look at the words in the box and add them to the word webs above. Then add any other phrases with come, give, have, and make you can think of. By car, first, a talk, a break, a profit, a good time, a decision, someone, a call. For come, come naturally, easily. Come back, return. Come by car, ways to travel. Come first, when. For give, give instructions, say what to do. Give a talk, make a speech. Give me a call, phone me. Give directions, say where to go. For have a good time, enjoy yourself. Have the same dream, future ambition. Have trouble, have problems. Have a break, relax for a short time. For make a choice, choose. Make a mess, make untidy, dirty. Make progress, improve. Make a profit, get more money than you invested.